JBN, we keep you informed. Two shot dead in Spanish Town. Police investigators are probing the shooting death of two men in separate incidents in the old capital of Spanish Town in St. Catherine on Friday. One of the victims has been identified as 22-year-old Duchesne McGibbon, alias Sparta, of Tospen in Spanish Town. The other victim has only been identified by his alias Bram and is reportedly of Demshapen, also in Spanish Town. In the first incident, police reported that sometime after 12 a.m., residents heard explosions coming from a section of the Heartlands main road. The bullet-riddled body of a man known as Bram was later found lying on the road at about 6 a.m. The police were alerted, and the body was removed to the morgue for a post-mortem examination to be conducted. Later, at about 10 a.m., gunshots were heard in Tospen community. Residents later found the body of McGibbon with several gunshot wounds in a lane in the community. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The parish of St. Catherine has been under a state of emergency since September. Person of interest in Trelawney double murder held. The Trelawney police have taken into custody a man who was named as a person of interest into Friday morning's gruesome killing of a male and a female in the southern part of the parish. The deceased have been identified as 50-year-old Sophia Bryan, otherwise called Carol, and 28-year-old Junette Bailey, also called Badwalk, both of Freeman's Hall, also Spring Trelawney addresses. Reports are that about 4 a.m. on Friday, the police were called after the bodies of Bryan and Bailey were found in a house in their community with multiple stab wounds. The police subsequently named Garfield Edwards, who is otherwise called Milo, as a person of interest in the double murder. Bryan reportedly recently severed a relationship with Edwards, who is also a resident of Freeman's Hall. Police sources say Edwards was held in a nearby community on Friday night. Man charged for assaulting pregnant woman. A man who was charged for assaulting a heavily pregnant woman denied being the father of the unborn child, despite the woman insisted in court that he was in fact the sire. Andre Richards appeared in the Kingston and St. Andrew Parish Court recently after the woman made complaints to the police that he had beaten her, and the cops subsequently arrested him. "Are you related to this lady?" Senior Clerk of Court Hansford Lawson asked Richards. "No, sir," Richards replied. "Are you related to that man?" Lawson asked the complainant. "He's the baby father," the woman replied. "For some strange reason, she says you are the father of her child," Lawson said to Richards as he pointed to the woman's belly. "Unless she tell upon me," Richards replied. Senior Parish Judge Von Smith then took over the reins. "You have children with her, sir?" the judge asked. "No, sir," the accused man replied. "You have one on the way?" Judge Smith asked, eliciting a bout of laughter from the persons inside the courtroom, to which a police sergeant shouted, "Silence!" "No, sir," Richards replied. Richards is accused of beating up the woman in their Kingston community during a dispute. Both parties were sent to restorative justice and will return to court on November 26. 20-year-old St. Elizabeth farmer charged with gun and ganja possession. The St. Elizabeth police have charged a 20-year-old farmer with illegal possession of firearm and ammunition and possession of and dealing in ganja. According to the Constabulary's Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, the accused, Jonathan Chung, otherwise called Chungy, of a Black River St. Elizabeth address, was arrested on Friday during an operation along Gazeland Main Road in the parish. Chung, who was reportedly driving a Toyota Voxy motor vehicle, was signaled to stop during a police operation about 3:30 p.m. He complied, and the vehicle was searched, resulting in the seizure of a plastic bag containing 1 pound of ganja and a Smith & Wesson I-point pistol with 9 rounds of ammunition, said the CCU. The ganja has an estimated street value of $5,000. 9 arrested in Trelawney gun find. 9 people, including 1 female, have been taken into police custody following the seizure of a Glock pistol with a magazine containing 16 rounds of ammunition on Wall Street in Trelawney. The Constabulary's Corporate Communications Unit, CCU, said the weapon was found in a speaker box during an operation in the area about 5:30 p.m. on Friday. The police are withholding the identities of the person taken into custody pending further investigations. Elderly man dies in Spanish Town crash. 70-year-old Emil Dean died on Friday, October 11, after the motor vehicle he was driving crashed on St. John's Road in Spanish Town, St. Catherine. According to the police, Dean, who is of a Stadium Gardens Kingston 5 address, was driving along the roadway about 9:20 a.m. when it is believed that he lost control of his car running into a ditch. He was taken to the hospital where he was pronounced dead. The police said investigations are ongoing. Government exploring feasibility of building an airport in Mandeville. Transport and Mining Minister Robert Montague says the government is exploring the feasibility of building an airport in Mandeville, Manchester, to meet aviation needs on the island's south coast. I have given instructions to the Airports Authority of Jamaica (AAJ) to look at Mandeville because Mandeville is an area that is underserved, he said. He noted that the necessary studies are being done to identify an ideal location. Montague was speaking at a ceremony at the ministry's headquarters in Kingston on October 8 to officially present an Aerodrome Operator Certificate to the Norman Manley International Airport (NMIA) in Kingston. The airport earned the certification on October 4 from the Jamaica Civil Aviation Authority (JCCA). It signifies that the facility has met the required international safety and security standards for aerodrome operations. In the meantime, the minister said that a number of upgrades are being carried out at some of the country's aerodromes. We have put in pilot lounges and we have upgraded the security features and the general facilities. We have done that at the Tinson Pen Aerodrome, Kingston, and the Ken Jones Aerodrome in Port Antonio, Portland, Montague said. Work is also being undertaken at the Negril Aerodrome in Westmoreland to improve drainage. We're discussing with the operators of the Lionel Dasham Aerodrome in St. Elizabeth to do a one-off investment to upgrade that airport, the minister said. We're also looking at revitalizing the old airstrip at Holland Bamboo on the Holland Estate because we have a world-class attraction in the Appleton Estate right there, and we also have the plans of the government to put in an agricultural economic development zone. Air travel to move the goods to market quickly will facilitate the success of that venture, he noted. 2 reported cases of dengue-related deaths in St. Anne this year. With over 700 reported cases of dengue in St. Anne from January to August this year, there have been 2 reported cases of dengue-related deaths during the period. But according to Medical Officer Dr. Tamika Henry, there has been no lab confirmation that the 2 deaths were caused by dengue. Addressing the monthly meeting of the St. Anne Municipal Corporation on Thursday, Dr. Henry said the most affected age groups are 5 to 14 years old and 25 to 44 years old, with reports of the disease being heard in the St. Anne's Bay and Ocho Rios health districts at first. But she informed that these reports soon spread to include Brownstown, Alexandria, and Claremont health districts, in stressing that the key in the fight against the disease is prevention by eliminating breeding sites, and we sought assistance from councillors in this regard, urging them to mobilize community members to attend meetings with the health ministry team. Mayor of St. Anne's Bay, Michael Belnavis, supported the call and urged fellow councillors to work with the Ministry of Health and play a part in the fight against dengue. Mobay Mayor welcomes church's backing in looming pride lawsuit. Montego Bay Mayor Omar Davis is expressing gratitude to the church and some members of the public for their support as he prepares for his legal face-off against gay rights group Montego Bay Pride, which is set to begin in the Supreme Court in Kingston on Monday. Davis, who is also chairman of the St. James Municipal Corporation, drew the ire of Montego Bay Pride when he decided last month to deny the group access to the Montego Bay Cultural Center to host a series of gay-related activities. We're going through a challenging time, and it's times like these that will test our resolve as city leaders, Davis said as he addressed the corporation's monthly meeting on Thursday. I'll ask the church to continue to remember us and the city in their prayers. We are grateful to see the support from the church community, the wider community of Montego Bay and St. James and Jamaica for the position we have taken. The matter was called up on Wednesday, so we'll be preparing our case to go back to court on Monday. We will seek to represent in the best way possible, not only for the municipality but for the people of Montego Bay and St. James, added Davis. In denying permission for Montego Bay Pride to host its activities at the Cultural Center last month, Davis stated that it was necessary to preserve the sacredness of the space, which provides interactive and educational entertainment as a heritage location. Maurice Tomlinson, the founder of Montego Bay Pride, filed a lawsuit against the municipal corporation in the Supreme Court on September 24 after being appraised of the decision the mayor had taken. Tomlinson is claiming that the mayor's declaration was unconstitutional and discriminatory. Lawyers from Jamaicans for Justice are representing the gay rights group in the suit. Reverend Peter Burnett, the chairman of the St. James Ministers Fraternal, is urging the municipal corporation to stand its ground and not bow to pressure. For standing up against those who would promote the gay rights agenda, I want to commend you. If you don't protect what belongs to you when you're dead and gone, somebody else will take what belongs to your children, said Burnett as he conducted the devotions at the corporation's meeting on Thursday. JBN, we keep you informed. Please remember to like, subscribe, share, leave us a comment, and click the notification bell to receive our daily news items.